So this section of the store is all Old World wine. Old World wine meaning wines that come from Europe. This is where they originated. And then they immigrated to all other parts of the world, South Africa, Australia, California, obviously, so America, North and South. But this here, we're talking France. This store is incredibly deep in France, and this section here is all about Rhone. Rhone wines, south of France, warm weather, actually kind of like California weather. So a lot of California wine drinkers, they really like Rhone wines. They're nice transitional wines to get into French wine. Normally French wine is going to be more acidic, it's going to be more spicy. It's going to have other kind of complicated, what we say, complex flavors. So some of the greatest wines, some of them incredibly expensive, talking about hundreds of dollars. But some of them you can buy for, 10. Then we're going to switch from France for a second and go into Italy. I mean, Italian wines, Italian food, super popular in this country. Most famous Italian wines, you probably think Chianti, maybe you think Brunello, maybe you think Barolo. So, I mean, we've got that and 100 other kinds of Italian wines here. So all of this stuff here that goes up to this shelf, and then this whole section here. And then on the other side here, we have Spain. So another area, again, Spain, you think food, you think tapas, you think wines. Spanish wines tend to be actually probably a little bit more affordable than Italian or French. Although I would say that there's wines in all price ranges in all of these countries. So you shouldn't think Spanish wines are cheap, French wines are expensive. I can give you a killer French wine for 12 bucks that you will love it. And I can give you a terrible $80 Spanish wine. So you really have to, you have to talk, you have to know what you're doing. Right. This is the nice thing about a wine store like this. We are so happy, and I hope you can see how excited I am just to talk about these wines. Sure. As I was saying, for the most part, if you're a wine connoisseur, maybe you care about a small difference between this vineyard and that vineyard. But the big thing we want you to recognize in the beginning is just to recognize the type of grape and the general taste profile of an area. You want to understand what a Rhone wine tastes like. You want to understand what a Burgundy wine tastes like. So Burgundy is like the holy grail of wine geeks. There's really only two main grape varieties that are cultivated there. Chardonnay, which is everybody in California is familiar with. And so white Burgundy is basically Chardonnay. All of this stuff, this is all Chardonnay. So we are very deep in Chardonnay. I love Chardonnay. I think it's the greatest white wine in the world. But you think Chardonnay, everybody drinks Chardonnay, it's so damn boring. Well, you got to try some white Burgundy before you make up your mind, because the variation from the northern regions in Burgundy to the more southern regions, the wines really change the flavors. So there's Chardonnay, which is white wine grapes, and then there is Pinot Noir based red wines. So all of the red Burgundy essentially is Pinot Noir. Again, Pinot Noir is hugely popular here, particularly in Sonoma County. A lot of it is also made in the Central Coast, so the area between San Francisco and LA. But Burgundies are considered the original and the utmost expression of Pinot Noir grape. So you get the flavors that are just so much more complex, from pepper and spice and leather and earth, all the way to fruity and happy and easy drinking as well. So over here, then we've got Bordeaux. I mean, who hasn't heard of Bordeaux? Right. So California Cabs is basically mimicked after Bordeaux. It's primarily Cabernet Sauvignon grapes. So on the left bank is what they say. And then on the right bank, they have a big river running through Bordeaux. So on the left bank is primarily Cabernet Sauvignon. On the right bank is primarily Merlot, another grape everybody knows around here. But French make these wines that taste different. They are not so fruity. They are lower alcohol. They're a little bit more earthy and tobacco-y. And so they are much more food friendly. And then we've got champagnes, Proseccos, Cavas, a variety of sparkling wines from all over the world in that region. And then finally there is Riesling. So if Riesling is super flexible, super universal, you can have it as an aperitif before food, you can have it with spicy food, you can have it with non-spicy food, and you can also have it as a dessert wine on its own, because they range in the level of sweetness. Very high acid, but you don't feel sourness because the sugar really helps. So it's like a sweet and sour kind of wine, and people adore it, and it's also low alcohol, so you can have the whole bottle and hardly even notice. Okay?